Whew, good morning, everybody. Wow, we got a lot to talk about. Anyway, I don't even know anymore if I should laugh or cry or just leave. I, I feel like maybe I want to hide under a rock somewhere until it all blows over because holy moly, I'm back to coffee. I'm not drinking green tea today. I'm drinking coffee because I actually need it. So, first off, thank you everybody for joining me again. I feel a little, I don't know, I feel a little bit sad, I guess, on some level. It just feels like it's just getting worse. It doesn't feel like it's getting better. And let's just all keep, speaking out. So, as you know, I value all of you and I value these talks and they actually they're kind of like therapy for me. I'm using you all. It's literally therapy. And I hope you feel the same that we're having conversation that enables us to see that we've not all gone off the deep end and that and that we're actually willing to have these conversations that not a lot of us will have because I just don't get it. I don't. Now, that being said, you all know that I'm older than a majority of the voices in the transgender community. And that I do think sometimes that does make me have a different opinion about. Of course, I think even let's just take you outside of the trans space. Older are going to have a different opinion than younger. That's just inevitable. You have different experiences. I have different experiences as a transsexual man than the younger generation. I come from a different space of transitioning. It was a much more difficult space for me, and I'm not going to discount the difficulty that it is for people, but it's a different type of uh, I think a different type of struggle for them than it was for me. And so I think that is what causes the divide between younger and older. And again, not just trans and anything, gay, straight, whatever it is, there's always going to be that, you don't know more than me, or you're just old, or you're just too young, you haven't done it. I mean, we all know that. It's always been that way. But getting back to the transgender space, I see things that not other people will see because of my experience in this community. And I do believe that experience is, okay, first off, thanks everybody. I see you. Thank you so much for joining me. I see you all logging on, and thanks for joining me in this live. And I really value this time with you, and I don't take you for granted in any way, shape, or form. And showing up here, I think it takes a lot to show up. And so I appreciate that you show up here and that you have these conversations with me. It means a lot to me. And I think it means a lot to our community. And it means a lot that us here are willing to talk about these things. So with that, I just want to see that I see you and I appreciate you. And it means a lot to me that we're having these conversations. And it means a lot to me that we're able to sort of have dialogue that I don't understand why we aren't allowed to have. And that's another part that concerns me, right? Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. So, that's the part that concerns me, that we're not allowed to have these conversations. I went to log on to my Instagram this morning because I usually do like a tiny little live before this to sort of bring traffic from there to here. And my live was shut down. My live was shut down because I went against community standards. And I'm like, what? You didn't send me a notice. You didn't tell me that I was against community. You just shut my feed down. And, these are the things I think that are really important that you and I discuss because, it is not okay that my feed gets shut down because they don't like what I'm saying. Because that's basically what it is. Somebody reported me and didn't like what I said. And then I just got cut off. And, you all out there should be concerned with that. Because it doesn't matter if you like what I say. It doesn't matter if you agree with what I say. What matters is democracy. We live in the United States of America. If we start to lose democracy and we start to lose this idea that freedom of speech is part of our democracy, we will lose more than what Instagram does. Okay. Instagram is a application, whatever. One day it could just go away, but it really is profound. And you must understand, when you start shutting down my voice or the voice over there, or if I can't stand you and I don't do that. I don't report you because you say something about me. I challenge you. There's a big difference there, my friends, a big difference for me to challenge you about what you're saying than to me to call, right? Oh, they hurt my feelings and they're saying transphobic things. That is not the same as me and you having a debate over our different opinions. Thanks, Stephanie. Thanks, friend. I do appreciate that a lot. And showing up. Thank you. It's really more than just being shut down. So thanks. I'm 61, friend. So I'm sure we see eye to eye here. And thanks for that. It means a lot to me. So, we must understand, it's more than you don't like what I say. It is going against what this country was built on, which is our right to identify, to speak, to have whatever religion we want, to walk the world in peace. And that is when you shut down because you don't like what somebody said, you are going against our values in this country. And it's not a right-wing thing. It has nothing to do with being right-wing. By the way, I'm an actual liberal. So don't even go there and say, well, Buck, you're a right-winger, or you're siding with right-wing. No, I'm not siding with anybody. Want to know who I'm siding with? Reality. Reality is the reason I'm here. Reality is the reason why I can walk the world. Reality is the reason why I had this situation be given to me, because I live in reality and the people around me live in reality, and somebody saw me hurting and somebody saw me struggling and somebody said, let's help you. But we don't want to help you, and then you turn around and punch us in the face. That's not the same thing. Everyone should be able to hear each other out. Why are we even having that discussion? It's quite embarrassing that we live in a world now where we're not allowed to talk about things that might hurt your feelings. Why? Right? Why? Right, but Buck, everything is right wing. I mean, if you go against the grain, you're right wing. It's just insane. Like, I don't understand. Stop throwing these insults. And also, it's not an insult to be right wing. Just so you know, I have a lot of friends who are right wing. I have a lot of friends who are, and also, I don't want to call it right wing. Okay, I'm going to call conservative. I have a lot of friends who are conservative, a lot, gay, trans, who are in the conservative space. So don't you dare think that everybody in the LGBTQIA plus PP poo poo is liberal. They're not. Or woke. They're not. There are many people who are actually leaving that side and actually going to the conservative side. I'm not conservative, and I have conservative values, I think, on some things, but I am not a conservative. I'm much more of a liberal kind of person. But it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. What I think and what I feel is mine. Okay, as what you think and you feel is yours, and you have every right to do that. I want to tell you something real quick before we get into the topless at the White House. I want to tell you something. If you've only lived in this country for your whole life, you're in for a rude awakening, my friend. Go live somewhere where you don't have the same rights. Just do it. I dare you. I double dare you. Go live somewhere where you're not allowed to walk the street holding hands, where you can't have purple hair, where you can't say the things you say on this particular platform, where you can't yell at elders in your community and call them transphobic. Go live somewhere else. Go live in a country where they don't have democracy. I dare you. You'll be running back here so fast you won't even know what is going on in your own space. You will freak. Here's the problem. You all don't understand what you have. You all think you don't have when you actually have. You have the right to tell me to shut up. Go live somewhere else where you don't have the right to tell somebody to shut up. You have every right to tell me to shut up. What you don't have the right to do is shut my voice down because I hurt your feelings. Good luck living somewhere else in the world. You'll never make it. And I tell you all the time, I lived in Mexico for 10 years. Okay. Have traveled to almost every country on this planet and have witnessed things you probably never will witness. I was in Indonesia, by the way, speaking about being a transsexual. Indonesia, where they hate people like me, where they kill people like me. And when I was there, they were killing trans people, trans women, but they were killing them while I was there speaking. So don't you dare take for granted what we have in this country. And that's what I'm fighting for. I'm not fighting for you to be silenced. I am fighting for your rights as well as my rights to continue to have different opinions, to continue to fight for our democracy. Because democracy means you get to say what you need to say, and I get to say what I get to say. We get to vote for the person that we want to represent. If we lose, we lose. You don't even know how to you don't even know how to lose gracefully. You're such sore losers. You know what I was taught as a kid? Dude, you lost. Get your ass back in the ring, work your ass out harder, and you're going to win the next time. You know, that's the attitude we need to have. It's okay to lose sometimes because losing gets you to want to win even more. But now you can't even lose anything without breaking out into pieces and blaming everybody else for your loss. As an athlete, when I lost a race, my dad said, you lost, dude. Well, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to win the next race? Are you going to work out harder? Are you going to train twice a day? Are you going to fix your eating habits? Are you going to get out there and move more? You lost. We're not telling the youth that anymore. We're not telling them, you lost, kiddo. What are you going to do about it? How are you going to fix that loss? You're going to go and like try to shut everybody else's voice down that disagrees with you? That's not winning. That is not winning, by the way. That's cheating. That's cheating. When you start to go and kick the feet out of your opponents, that's cheating. I'll give you this analogy here. Let me show you this. Or it's a story. So I was a runner, and I was actually a really high-ranking female athlete. And in high school, I was doing I was like, you know, up there in the top, and I was being sought after by many spaces. And there I was, like I was destined to be this runner. And I never forget, it was the state track finals. And there were, I was the only one from my team that made it to the state finals. And the other team, their whole team made it. Maybe like 5 of the girls made it. And I'll never, ever forget this. Here I am running, and I'm so confident, you guys. You know, this guy, I'm confident. I know I'm going to win. I had a strategy, and my strategy, which my coach taught me, was to hang back, dude. Hang back. Let them all lead the race. Let them, because it wasn't about time. It was about winning. So I would not lead the race. I wouldn't even go out front. I would pull back. Gun would go off. I would come back and let them all go forward. And I would just hang back and run with the pack around the track, 1,500 meters, run. So it's 4 laps. First lap, second lap. I'm still in the lap. I'm like kind of last place. Maybe I start moving up to the middle. This is what my coach taught me. I start moving up to the middle. It's psychological. So there I am in the middle, and I just know. So the last lap is mine. So the last lap, here we are. I start going up. Remember, there's 5 of those other girls from that team, plus others, but 5 of those girls, and one of them was very competitive with me. There we are. I'm going to the last lap, and I know this is going to be my move now. We get into, right? It's 400 meters, the last lap. So I get to that 200 meters, and we're coming around, and what do? This is what my coach always taught me. I move over and start going. And that's when because I just have that speed power. But what happens? I go to move over to make my move, and the girls all move over and block me. They block me from, and the track is only so many lanes. So I move up. I have to go all the way on the outside to come around. And the girls are moving me. They start elbowing me. That's against the rules, by the way. They start elbowing me. I'm like, what? So I'm like, bam, back. But now it's turning into that match. What do? They circle around me. Somehow they all got around me, stuck their foot. One of them put their foot between my legs. Somehow, there I went, down. I went down. Never forget, because I smashed my hip. There's like back in the day, I guess they had like a cement thing that went around. I smashed my hip into that. I was down and out. Lost the race. Everybody saw it. They denied it. Yet everybody saw it. My coach was so pissed. We were all, I cried for days. I can cry right now because I trained so hard for that race. The point I'm trying to make is this. That's cheating. They didn't even have the decency to race me. They already knew they were going to lose. So instead of losing gracefully, and instead of letting me be that athlete, they had to cheat and knock me down and push me down. So I lost the race. That's what's happening today. You're cheaters. You don't know how to compete. You don't know how to be fair. You don't even know what fair is. You think it's all about you. That race wasn't just about me and those girls. That race was about female sports. That race was about integrity. That race was about winning. Somebody's going to win. The person who did the training, the person who put themselves out there every day, 2 times a day, train, ate, drank, slept, running. That was the person who was going to win. But they weren't going to let that person win because they didn't do the training. That's what I see today. I see the same exact BS. If I can't win, you're not going to win. It's that attitude. Why are we teaching young people that attitude? Why? It's shocking to me. Thank you, friend. It means a lot to me. It means a lot that you guys throw that at me. It really does. I do appreciate it a lot. Hey, Josie, right-leaning transsexual woman here. Still can't figure out what rights we I love you, friend. Send me a DM if you want to come on and do an interview with me. I'd love to talk to you. So that being said, you see that? You see that? Don't think we're all on board with what's going on here. We are not. There are actual conservative trans people, okay? There's conservative gay people. We've always been around, okay? So don't think that when you call us right wing, we're siding with the enemy. You are so wrong. You are so wrong. What we are doing is, as transsexuals, whether we are from the right or whether we are from the left, me and her, no. What we see is not representative of us, and we don't want anything to do with it. We want to coexist in the world. We had a transition to live freely in this world as men and women like you. We know exactly what we are. We have no problem with that. But I could walk down the street right now and nobody would know that I was a biological female. Nobody. And don't say they would, because they would not. They would not. And that's the point of transitioning. And that's why transsexual people have decided to remove themselves from the transgender ideology. We are not an umbrella. We are not like them. We do not get any time or voice in this particular space. And that's why we need to step up, because we aren't being represented. You think in any way, shape, or form, me, and I bet you here Josie is the same way as me. Do you think that Josie and I are okay with somebody showing their boobs at the White House? You actually think that? Because you're wrong. Hey, Janelle, so I'm not wearing my glasses. Like, that's my age right there. Love you, Buck. Thank you for speaking so freely. Oh, God bless you back, my friend. I appreciate you a lot. Thank you. You know, I'm not here for just trans people. I'm here for us, for humanity, to get back to civility, to get back to reality, to get back to having conversation so that you can disagree with me. You can say, I don't believe in transsexual people. It doesn't hurt my feelings. Why should I get mad at that? It's okay that you don't think what I did is okay. It doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. It doesn't mean I'm not going to transition, and it doesn't mean I'm not going to be happy because you don't agree with me. That this is what we're teaching a generation of people. If someone doesn't agree with you, oh, it means like your whole world needs to fall apart. Good luck. Geez, my partner doesn't agree with me. You should see us at breakfast. We're like, no, no, no. But we learn from each other because we're willing to have those kind of difficult conversations. You think raising a kid, do you think raising a kid and two parents agree on everything? Hell no. If you're not a parent, you don't know. But any parents in this room here, you know what I'm talking about, right? It doesn't matter. You might not agree with your husband. You might not agree with your wife. You might not agree with your partner. Do you hate them? No. Do you cancel them? Do you lock them in the other room and say, we're not having this conversation? You don't agree with me. No, you just get into it a little bit. I like getting into it. You see me how heated I get and passionate. I like it. It makes me feel alive. It actually makes me feel alive to have compassionate, pushback or dialogue so that so that I have to think about what I'm saying. Thank you, friend. As a cisgender lesbian, I want to say it absolutely disheartens me how not wanting my space is appropriated is branded as right wing. It is not. It is not right wing. It has nothing to do with it. You, my friend, have every right not only to say that, but to want it. I actually agree with you. As a transsexual man who lived as a gay woman for many years of my life, and when I transitioned, I knew that I was no longer welcome in women's spaces. Duh. Like the whole point of me transitioning was not to be in women's spaces and not to be in lesbian spaces. I'm not a lesbian anymore. And so I don't know why these dudes who are transitioning to be men are all, we don't get to go in lesbian space. What? You're not a lesbian anymore, dude. Don't transition then. And then these trans women who are adamant to be, look, I have a couple trans women friends who identify as lesbians. Now, whatever that means, I don't give a shit. But they are so respectful of lesbians. They won't go into the lesbian space unless they are actually asked to. Number one. Number two, they pass as women. So nobody would ever even know. Nobody knows when I go into a gay male bar if I'm a gay man or a tranny or a woman or whatever I want, whatever someone's calling me. It's the point of transition. And if you can't respect other people's spaces, no way are they going to respect yours, friend. So don't you dare think, oh, we need to be respected because no, you don't get respected. When women are telling you this, when gay women are telling you this, and you're not hearing it, and all you're hearing from this woman right here is hate, 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 hate. That's not what she's saying. That is not what she's saying. She's saying exactly what you're saying on the opposite side. I'm not comfortable with you being in my space. So what? Create your own fucking space. Do you know how to create your own space? We had to create our own spaces back in the day because there wasn't spaces for people like us. So what did we do? We created our own space. Guess what happened when we created our own space? Everyone wanted to come to our space because we had more fun and we were like, well, whatever that means, right? And so this is the thing that I'm having a real hard time with here, people. I'm having a hard time with this idea that you are entitled to everything you want. Where do you live? Because I want to live there. What planet are you on? Because I think I'll move there. If you think you are entitled to everything that you want, you are sorely mistaken, my friend. And that's why your feelings are hurt. And that's why you get mad and angry at people like me and people who disagree with you. Hey, friend, thank you so much, Christy. I appreciate it. I support trans people. I don't support male bodied people taking my private space or acting like fools. Listen, I know it's hard. I know it's hard to hear things sometimes. Nobody wants to hear negative stuff. That's why y'all don't go to therapy, because you don't want to hear the truth that maybe you're not trans or maybe something else is going on. Oh, you can't hear that. You know exactly who you are. So why aren't you listening to women when they say, I don't support male bodied people taking my private space or acting like fools? There is a time and place. The White House isn't it. I'm a woman, not cis. Why are you not listening to her? She does not want to be called cisgender. Stop it. I don't want to be called transgender. I'm not. And I won't take it on. I highly suggest the people out here who don't like to be called cisgender push back. Tell them to knock it off. Tell them it's a slur. Push back on them. I dare you. Push back on them. Honestly, I'll support you because I support freedom of speech. I also support freedom of identification. And if you want to identify as a woman and you're not trying to look that way and you want to be supported in that, then why aren't you supporting women when they tell you to not call them cisgender? You see the hypocrisy? You see what I'm saying here? You're not hearing yourselves. It's an echo chamber. We're right, you're wrong, we're right, you're wrong. People are tired of it. We're all tired of it. It's boring. It's boring and stupid and wrong and immature, and it's not helping us. So let's talk here. Let me just grab this one right here. Hey, Jonathan, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Love hearing and seeing you tell truths. I mean, what world do we live in where Buck, the dude who's a biological woman, is having to say the truth, right? I mean, it's just absurd beyond belief to me. But I do appreciate that you hear me. I mean, it makes me laugh and giggly because I just can't even believe it. Keep speaking up and never stop being, thank you, forthright and honest in the world. I won't. I promise you, I won't. I promise you, I won't. It's called integrity, people. And it's also called, why should I be scared to say what I believe? Why should I? Why are people no, not that being said, there are people out there who get gnarly doxxed and get, death threats, and not that I haven't had that, and get things thrown at them and can lose their job. I totally understand that. Don't get me wrong. I do. But I think the majority of us are not in that space. And I think the majority of us can speak out. And I think the majority of us have an obligation to do that at this point. Because if we really do care about getting back to reality and to civility and to having these, we can't let these people continue to gaslight us and tell us that we're doing things that are trans. If you don't agree, we're transphobic. If you don't fly that progress flag, then you're not, then you're transphobic. Also, what's so interesting to me? How come the whole new LGBT sort of space is all about trans rights? I don't even hear about gay rights anymore. I don't even hear lesbian. Every time that flag is there, it's always trans people. Do you all notice that? Or is it just me? I only hear trans people. I don't even hear anything about gay people anymore, especially because it's supposed to be pride and it's supposed to be LGBT. QIA plus what pee pee poo poo, right? But I don't even hear that. Every time the flag is flying, it's all about trans people. Ah, that's right, Al. Al says because it's all about bucks. Yeah, money. Money. Hey, friend. Thank you. So, okay, call me here. I want to see this real sec. I prefer to be genderless, kind of just gender non-conforming. Great. But I am not transgender. And the non-dysphoric people push that label. See that? That is actually very profound. That is profound. This person is saying that. They get pushed to be this. I think that's happening with a lot of kids, by the way. I don't want to be trans cis. I just want to be. You see, look, I respect you, but my friend. I respect you a lot because I was on some level that when I was a youngster, but I didn't have the sort of peer pressure that you're having today. That is actually a very important thing this person has just said. right? I am not transgender, and the non-dysphoric people push that label on me. You hear that? Non-dysphoric people. I think a huge part of this community is non-dysphoric. I actually believe that. And this person is on some level affirming that for me. I do believe that a lot. I am a woman, full stop. Yeah, you are, Fred. I acknowledge that. Hey, Shelly, sent you an email. Yes, if someone is considering life altering changes, they should be willing to take more than 50. You know, I'm going to sound old right now, but that's okay. I like being old and I like having a lot of time under my belt. And I never thought I would make it to 61 years old. Never, never. Here I sit as a 61-year-old person who transitioned 31 years ago now, who it's only been an incredible experience for me. It's only been just life changing, which is what transition should be. I never have looked back. I never in my 31 years of being transitioned have I ever thought of detransitioning. Why is that? Why is somebody like me so grounded in my transition? Like, you can't even hurt my feelings. You can call me she all you want. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Oh, hey, this is great. We have, thanks for that comment, by the way. Transman from Brazil here. Been to Brazil, friend, and spoke there like maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah, thank you, friend. I appreciate that. Go live in Brazil. Try it. Go try living in Brazil as a trans person. I dare you. I'm so sick and tired of this community here not even understanding what they have. The entitlement is disgusting. When I see you all screaming, trans rights are human rights, we need rights, you're a genocide. Oh my God, what else you all are saying? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. You don't even know what you have. That's the sad part. And why it takes somebody like myself and elders in this community to actually put in front of your face what you have, because you're forgetting what you have. Why are you only focusing on what you don't have? When you're building a house, do you focus on what you don't have? Or do you see something there and you're saying, I want to add to this? I have a foundation. My foundation is the most important part of my house. Your foundation. I always say it, you know that. When you build your house on a false foundation, it will not last. It won't. And I mean physically, spiritually, reality. When you build anything on false, it's never going to last. So get your foundation in order and watch your house grow and watch the beauty of it grow and watch the not come out of your mouth. Watch the I don't have come out of your mouth. Watch the I have so much. It is amazing what I have. I can get my testosterone on the internet. I can have surgery in 20 seconds. I can be a man if I want to be. Nobody can tell me no. We are now in law. We can't be discriminated against. What do you want? What do you want? I really want to know, because I don't seem to be getting an answer. And if you can tell me what you want and what we're fighting for, I might have some more compassion for your fight. But you're not showing me that. You know what you're showing me? Entitlement. And entitlement is a very, very dangerous space to be in. Why is entitlement dangerous? Because you forget what you have. Entitlement creates a want. Do you know that? Entitlement creates a want. I'm entitled to this coffee. Why am I entitled? Because I just am. So I'm going to drink this coffee. There. How does that coffee taste, dude? Well, I don't know. I'm entitled to it, so it doesn't really matter. As opposed to, I love coffee. I would love to have a Nespresso in my Nespresso machine right now. Do I have it? Yeah, I do. I have an espresso machine. wow, it's so awesome that I have an espresso machine. And I guard that Nespresso machine like crazy. And I look at it like I get to have an espresso every morning. It is an amazing feeling. I come to that coffee with a gratitude. Oh my God, it tastes so much better. I drank gratitude. I didn't drink entitlement. Now I don't think I'm entitled to anything else because my gratitude is focused on that one thing that I have. And I'm not looking at the things I don't have. It's real simple. It's like an actual simple equation. You're not focusing on what you have. You're focusing on what you think you don't have. I know. I think it came late. I was all into the green tea. And then today I woke up a little ornery. I don't know if you can tell. A little ornery, a little like, I think I need coffee. I'm just mad. I'm not mad. I think that's the wrong word. I'm upset. I'm upset. And okay, let's get into this now. Let's get into the White House. I put it off for a little bit here, but let's get into the White House and let's get into what that's all about. And I woke up with this sadness in me, and that I think what happens is that people forget where we are. And then a generation comes. Oh, hey, Phoenix friend. Hey, that's so sweet. Thank you, buddy. Our person, our friend, or whatever. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. It does mean a lot to me. I don't expect any of that from you, by the way. I just know from my heart. I appreciate that you see me and you hear me, and it means a lot. It does. It actually does. So I woke up with sadness today because I really feel that we're headed in a very dangerous direction in the LGBTQIA plus PP poo poo space. And I understand why the LGB wants to disconnect from the TIQI poo poo. I get it. And if you don't get it, step back for a minute and read everything because you're not. I 100% understand why. And it's not all older generation. Just so you know, it's not all older people who don't understand. We understand more than you can imagine because we came from the space where we didn't have what you had. So when we see what you all have, and it's historical, by the way, it's historical that we went to the White House, by the way, starting with who? You know who. I'm not even going to say their name because that person upsets me too. Starting with who? We were at the White House. Somebody was representing us at the White House with a D, the initials DM. They actually got to go to the White House above and beyond all of our elders. Not me. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about people. Any other elder in this community should have been in that place. But no, they brought that person. Whatever. Anyway, that being said, the privilege to go to the White House, I don't think you understand. I do not. We have never been this celebrated at the White House, ever, ever. Flying our flags, throwing parties, inviting the trannies into the house. Like, wow, no matter what you think about DM, the fact that they were invited to the White House is a big deal, is a big deal for all of us. It's a recognizing that we are here. I'm bummed that it was that person, and I really do wish they would have thought about somebody with a little bit more time under their belt and a little bit more of a nuanced look at what's going on. But I do believe that they brought that person to the White House for a political pawn, and they're so dumb that they didn't even get it, and they were spouting off all the nonsense that many of us are against. The fact that that person said trans kids exist is so barfy and so gross and so upsetting, because there's people like us who don't agree with the trans kids debate. But here we have this person, DM, representing us and talking about things we all don't agree on. So there's that. So here we are, privileged beyond belief. Nobody in my generation, nobody would ever believe what we saw at the White House, that we were invited and there was a big gay party at the White House. Never in a million years would we ever think that. But there we were. and there was a big party to celebrate LGBT rights. But to me, it didn't even seem like LGBT rights. It seemed like trans rights, using the flag. It's all about trans. Remember that. You never even hear about gay people anymore. So there we are celebrating. Woo, yeah. Because that's what gay people do. We celebrate, we have a great time, and we love dancing, and we love to party. And that's awesome. And, it's how we have always celebrated. That's where pride, well, no, pride started as a protest, but it became a party. Why did it become a party? Because we started to celebrate ourselves, because we made ground, we got rights. So it went from a protest to a party, because we did what we needed to do, and we got our rights, and we're so happy. We're like, woo, let's go dance, all of that. And we get invited to the White House. Wow. Oh my God. It does bring tears to my eyes. It's amazing. Amazing and beautiful. And then what? And then what? Who were those people that were invited to the White House party? I wasn't. Were any of you invited to the White House party? I want to know if anyone here was invited to that White House party, and how come we weren't invited? How come I wasn't invited? How come I didn't get invited? I would have showed up in my suit. I would have. I would have shown up like this. I would have buttoned the top button. Here, this is me showing up to the White House. Okay? This is me right here. Not showing my chest, not showing my stuff, like buttoning my shirt. You know me, I never have my shirt buttoned. But I don't go around topless. No, there's me. Okay, at the White House. That's me with a tie. Why? Because it's called respect. You want respect, you give respect. It's a true equation. So here's all the gays and the trans and the non-binaries and the people who are just there. And what happens? What happens is so insane, beyond belief. The boobies come out. Not only from trans women, but trans guys. I saw a trans guy doing this with his boobs. I'm not kidding. Go watch the video. I'm gonna button this so it looks nicer. I'm not kidding. Go look. Literally doing this with his boobs. Oh, thank you, Lucy. I appreciate you. You, Blair, like-minded, should have been. Sorry, I'm not wearing my glasses. From a right on. you know, so embarrassing. So embarrassing. Beyond anything. Yes, you would. Yep, you're right. That's right. I can't even read that word because it's so long right now. But there was one I wanted to bring up here that I just saw. This one. So embarrassing. So embarrassing. Why am I embarrassed? So people will go like this to me. Well, Buck, you've been topless. You go topless. You did nudity. Yes, I did. It's called pornography. And it's in a space of consent. Number one, I never would do that in a restaurant, in a place of public space where other people are not. I never would do that. That's the pushback from these activists, okay? Telling me, oh, Buck, because I went off. And then they're like, well, Buck, you da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, I did porn. So what? It was in a very specific space. I didn't do it. I didn't throw my porn at the White House. I didn't run around in a jock strap at the White House. Never would I do that. I've been in very, very, very high-end spaces speaking to very important people. I didn't show up topless. I showed up with a tie, a suit, and respect. Because guess what happens when you do that? They look at you differently. They call you back. They respect your voice. You cannot use my porn against me constantly that I did adult entertainment for adults who had to go to very specific places to buy my stuff. It was not accessible, nor was it put in everybody's face unless you looked at it. So do not try to push on me like that, and do not gaslight me, because I will totally push back on you. When you are in a public environment, and especially the White House, you better have some respect. You are representing me. You are not only representing yourself. When you get invited as an LGBT person to an LGBT event at the White House, you are representative of all of us, not just some of us. Have some respect. You're gross. Now I see you, lady, who took your boobs out, and the stuff you're backtracking on, and you think it's only conservatives coming at you. Sorry, friend. We're all coming at you in this community. You're gross. You better apologize. You're not apologizing, friend. You're not apologizing. You're making excuses for getting naked in front of the White House. We're not going to accept your excuse. You better apologize. On behalf of the whole community, you better. Every single one of you people who were there representing LGBT better apologize to not only the LGBT community, but to the United States of America. It is so unbelievable. We're never going to be invited back. We're never going to be invited back. You've ruined it for all. You literally ruined the party. You selfish, gross people. Flinging your boobies like this. I saw it. I actually, and if none of you saw it, I'll send you this. Just go watch it. You're going to see them. They're like, what? Holding them, showing them. So that's porn, by the way. By the way. Oh, I know that woman. That woman has me blocked. Totally has me blocked. I don't even know who she is. She has me blocked. So there you go. That just says there's no conversation to be had. Zero. It's why I'm speaking out on it, because I'm hoping somebody at the White House sees me. Somebody in our government sees people like us and says, "Oh wow, they're not cool with it." There's many of us speaking out. You know, that Ariel, Blair, Marcus. We're all like, "What?" Many of us, even us, some of us who don't disagree, are in alignment with this. So then she goes on to talk about it's legal to pull your boobs out in Washington, D.C. Yeah, it might be legal. That's just unbelievable to me. That's just unbelievable to me. Cannabis is legal. You're going to go on the White House and smoke a joint? Not cool. It's not. It's just not cool. I don't care. It's not. I'm a total cannabis user. I'm not going to go to the White House and smoke weed. There's no point in that. There's just no, unless it's an actual cannabis party where we're there's I don't understand this. I really don't. We were there to show our gratitude. Do you know that? We were at the White House to show gratitude. We were not at the White House to push our agenda. Screaming trans rights are human rights. Everybody already knows that. You got your rights, friend. You're at the White House. What rights do you want? You're literally at the White House. Now you screwed up. You took all our rights away. It's upsetting, you guys. I don't know how you all feel about it. I'm looking for somebody here who disagrees with me, but you know, I don't see that. I don't see it. Yeah, that's who it was. Yeah, somebody here wrote. Here it is. Thank you. Thank you for looking it up, friend. Thanks, Chloe. I just Googled. Holy frack it. Right on. Are Montoya doing that at the what? That's right. And that person has me blocked. I don't even know who they are. I think that there's somebody in the community. I think that they're a voice in the community, but I don't know who they are because I don't participate in that. I think you all agree with me. It's what I see, and it's okay if you don't. Honestly, I don't have an issue with that. I just wanted to see if somebody disagree with me so I could sort of see why, right? Why you disagree with me, but I don't see that. It's cringe. You guys are funny. I disagree, but go show your junk. Could you imagine? Oh my god. Who knows? Maybe he buys my porn. Who knows? But that being said, wow, really? I think the majority of us agree. We all agree. It was wrong. It was disrespectful on so many levels. It was against everything we fought for. It saddens me beyond belief. You know, you know me, I'm a very emotional person. And it's because I think I think it's because I value what I have. I don't take it for granted that I sit here having a conversation with you as a man. And I would say the majority of you are so gracious in seeing me as a man. You might not agree with me. You might not agree with what I do. You might not agree with transitioning, but I know that you respect me and you call me a man, and you might not think that I'm a man, but that's what I'm trying to say. You and I built a bridge to each other. Whether we want to walk that bridge or not, it's okay. But we have the opportunity to walk that bridge. We fought so hard. So many people died in this community before AIDS. They were getting their heads cracked and beat in because they showed up at a bar and wanted to kiss their lover. I don't think you even understand that the insanity of where we came from, and that nobody would ever believe that we could go to the White House and have a party. Nobody. And we do the most insane, disgusting, disrespectful shit that says so much about how we disregard our history and disregard where we come from. It makes me emotional. Why? Because I value this. I value so much of what I have because of my elders, because of the people who helped me get here. I didn't get here alone. I had a community of gay men. I'm not kidding you, a community of gay men who really respected my choice of transition 30 years ago. They respected that I wanted to be this person. They did not push against me. They did not hate me. They didn't even disagree that I was a man. But together we created new laws. We created ability to get married. We created an ability to walk down the street holding hands. And if you touch us, it's a hate crime. I don't know if I ever told you that I got my shit beat out of me for being a gay woman. I don't know if you know that. Not once, not twice, just by walking down the street. That's it. Not even holding hands, not even kissing anybody, nothing. I got the shit beat out of me by a bunch of dudes who did not like me because of how I looked. And they could get away with that because we didn't have laws that prevented people from hitting us because they didn't like us. Today, we have those laws in effect. And you and I can walk down the street and we can get married and we can go to the White House and we can act like civil human beings to the rest of the world. Because just because you're LGBTQIA plus does not mean you have to act like an animal. and pretend like you don't have anything. Because let me just tell you what you have. Hey, Carol, thank you. All that can happen with this now is that the lines that this trans ideology has been trying to blur are getting, yes, I agree, at the expense of what? At the expense of what now? My rights? Your rights? The rights of women? Many people's rights have been taken advantage of during this trans rights activism. And I would say the majority of the people whose rights have been trampled on are women. Not so much mine, but women. I would say the majority of the rights taken away and abused and misheard are women. You can disagree with me, but it's what I see out of my eyes. You are so important, Buck. Oh, thank you, friend. Thank you. I appreciate you a lot, Braxton. Thank you. You know, communities change, people. I know that. I'm very aware of it. I don't want you to think I'm old and crusty and I don't know anything. That's just not true. I'm not old and crusty. I'm old and have experience. I'm not even old. Why am I even saying that? I'm not old. I came from a country where LGBT rights don't really exist. And it's so sad seeing these unstable, outrageous people being chosen. Thank you. Thank you. You see that? That's why I keep daring you all. Go to another country and say what you say here. Say it there. I dare you. I just dare you. Go walk down the street holding hands. Try to be openly gay somewhere else. Go to Russia. Go on a vacation to Russia. I dare you. You know, the thing is this, that a lot of people see what they want to see. They're not willing to see the other things because they don't want to. They don't want to acknowledge it. They want to have this idea that what they see is everything. You're not looking around. You're only looking straight ahead. That's the problem, I think, today, is people aren't looking around. They're not looking on the side. What's going on? What's behind me? What's beside me? You're only looking straight ahead. You're forgetting to look around and get out of the bubble. They have blinders on. So before we go, I just want to let you know that I wanted to just touch on this real quick because that's just heavy for me. The White House stuff is heavy for me. As you see, it makes me so incredibly angry and emotional, and I feel so more disconnected from trans LGBTQIA plus PP poo poo than ever. That's saying a lot. I've been a community person since I was a gay person and came out. I've always valued this community, and I've always valued community because I believe that, you know, you just need it. Whatever that is, you just need it, right? We're told we're tribal, and I think that that's true. But does it have to be, does my community have to be LGBTQIA plus PP poo poo, or can I have a different community and feel just as welcomed? Can I? Yeah, of course I can. And it's what I'm choosing now. And my community is people and humanity and reality. That's my community. And I won't turn my back on it. Women are part of my community. Men are part of my community. Trans people are part of my community. But people who live in integrity and reality and truth, that's my community. Whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter to me. But to me, that's community. In my community, I have all walks of people. People I disagree with, people I agree with, people I want to kiss, people I don't want to kiss. I mean, everything and anything. And I think it's why I'm so happy. And I think it's why I'm willing to stand up and speak out, because I have actual diversity in my life. You all talk about diversity, but you don't have it, just so you know. Go look at the definition of diversity and inclusion. And when you override rights of other people because you think your rights are more important than them, you are sorely mistaken, my friend. and you'll never get those rights. You're not big enough to get those rights, nor do you deserve those rights. Rights are given because people see you and want you to be a part of. Rights aren't given because you're forcing them upon people. You can't make people believe what you believe. No way. I don't know where you live or why you think forcing our lifestyle down other people's throats is going to change their mind. It will never change their mind. There are hardcore Christian people out there who do not believe we exist, and that is okay with me, just so you know. I don't believe that they're actually looking at the actual real message of Jesus. That's my opinion. As Christians, I think that they have twisted Jesus's words because that's not what Jesus said. But if they need to do that for themselves, go right ahead, friend, because I'll push right back on you. I deserve every right just as you do. They deserve the right to not like me, and I deserve the right not to like them. But what I don't deserve, and nor do they deserve, is the right to punch me in the face or tell me that I'm lesser than, or to tell me that I don't deserve to live on this space. That's not true. You see the difference? Thank you, friend. You see the difference? I'm not telling you you can't hate me. Go ahead and hate me. Hate me all you want. Hate is powerful and it sticks in your heart and it makes you forget love. If you're letting hate override love, that's on you. That's not on me. I don't have hate. It's harder to live with hate than harder to live with love. And if you're letting hate really control the way you walk this world, you should really look into that. Because I'm telling you right now, thank you, friend, you're missing the whole point of transition, of living free, of having the right to be. And that's for every single person in this country, not just you. Everybody has the right to worship, to be, to have, as long as they are not abusive. And you're being abusive, so you're not going to get your rights. It's real simple. I feel like I feel like sometimes I'm banging my head on the brick wall. Like, come on. It's really not. Thank you, Australia. Thank you, friend. Thank you, Jake, Jody. That's right. Forced acceptance is not true acceptance. And I don't want to force you to accept me. I do not want to force you to accept me, because if I force you to accept me, it's fake. But if you accept me in your heart and you see me as a true human being here, then I'm not forcing myself on you. You can come to this live or you can not come to this live. You can see me on anything or you cannot see me. It's easy not to have me in your head. Just don't watch me. But what I'm trying to tell you is this: every single one of us should be able to have a platform to say things, whether you like it or not. And that's what I'm fighting for. I'm fighting for acceptance of all of us. Because if I don't accept you, why would you accept me? If I don't accept your right hardcore Christian values that don't align with me, then why would you sometimes say, okay, well, then I'm going to accept, Buck, that you exist. I don't agree with you and I don't agree with your lifestyle, but I see you. That's building a bridge. That's saying now me and you can have this earth together, but we don't have to live together, but we can have this earth together and we don't have to keep kicking each other in the balls every day. I hope I make sense. I hope I make sense to all of you. And I hope that somehow you see what I'm trying to say here, which is that respect gets respect. And when you show up at the White House acting a fool and representing a community that has worked so hard to get where we are today, and we feel like we have so much more than you could ever even imagine because you're 15 or you're 20 or you're 25 and you don't even understand what AIDS is, and you think trans is a genocide when you don't even talk about AIDS, you're not part of this community. And when you start to change the narrative of this community and lie about our history and say trans women were the women who were at Stonewall, you're lying. You're lying. And you're taking away our history. And you're taking away the actual real history of our fighting for our rights. It was gay women and gay men who were at Stonewall, who fought for our rights, even trans rights. And it's why we exist in a place where we are today. And you are all being so incredibly homophobic and weird. It just makes no sense to me. That's not community. That's ideology, and that's a cult. And I will not in any way, shape, or form be a part of that. I am a biological female who transitioned using medical intervention to look like a man so that the world can see me how I feel comfortable. It's exactly the reason why you wear blue hair and a nose ring, because you want the world to see you as a comfortable person. So why is your way more important than my way? We are different. We are not the same. We have different values, different morals, and different ways of being. But we all belong to the LGBT community. We all are allowed to have a voice here, and we are all allowed to have different ways of being. Before I go, I just want to touch on this one more time here. And I didn't touch on it. Non-women. Non-women. John Hopkins wrote lesbian is a non-woman. You all know. I know you all know it. And here you go. And here you go. This is what I'm going to show you right here. Okay, boomer. Buck, I've always been pro-trans, but you've opened my eyes to a new viewpoint. And that's all I want. I just want you to see that. I don't represent the community in any way, shape, or form. But if I was invited to the White House, I'll tell you what, I would think I was representing the community. And there are ways to be in this space. It's why we have laws. If we don't have laws, we have we're rampant. We're all over the place. We're not structured. You have to have laws. You also have to have an understanding of how the world works in order to get what you need. And if you're doing things that make people think of you as something that you're not going to get it. I don't care if you flash your boobies around in a club, in a place. There's the right place and the wrong place. And you all know what I'm talking about. Don't you dare. I am the most liberal, pro-sex, pro-everything, pro-cannabis. I'm that guy. But I also understand the right time and the right place. That's what you seem not to understand. It frustrates, thank you, friend. It frustrates me when they throw around the word genocide. Me too. I just said AIDS is a genocide. When they are the ones promoting, that's right. No, I'm totally in agreement with you. It's frustrating beyond belief. They're liars. These people are liars, cheaters. They have no desire to build bridges. They have no desire to actually give us rights. They're taking rights away. They want to take women's rights away. They actually want to eliminate women. I don't care what it is. I see it with my own eyes. As a biological female who lived half my life in a female space, I see it. When they write on there, a lesbian is a John Hopkins, by the way, who have been in the forefront of trans stuff since I think the 50s, when they write on there, a lesbian is a non-woman who's attracted to a non-woman. And then underneath it, they have gay man, a man attracted to a man. That's it. That's it. There's an agenda. And if you don't believe it, I don't know what else to tell you all. Gay friend of mine who is, thank you, friend, manifest. Is that what it says? Manifest anything, right on. Gay friend of mine who is 80 years old and was in Stonewall, Fred Sargent being one of my friends, right? Hates what's going on today. Why does the younger generation think they know? I would love to interview that person. If you can send me an email or something, I would be. I interviewed Fred Sargent, by the way. Yeah, of course. Of course, this dude is like, what? These are the stories we need to bring to the forefront of the world so they can see who's ever running the ship is out of their minds. They are not doing us any good, by the way. They're not. I love you all very much. Don't fall into the trap. Women are women. Trans women are trans women. Men are men. Trans men are trans men. Trans people are biologically male and female. I don't know what a non-binary is. I don't know what a trans mask is. I don't know what a fairy fae fo is. I don't know what a LGBT pee poo poo poo. I don't know any of that. None of it. It's not my cup of tea. It's not my game. Okay. I live in a very real space. I acknowledge what's going on with me. I've moved forward with it. I don't want you all to get lost in the rhetoric that does not in any way, shape, or form represent me. And it's why I continue to speak out against my community. You think it's easy? It's not. And I don't need you to feel any empathy or sympathy or any of that for me. It's not why. It's not easy. It's hurtful. It hurts my heart when people write things that they write to me. It hurts my heart when I see a trans woman tell me I should die. It hurts my heart when people say kill myself who are in the trans community, who keep talking about being in a genocide, yet they turn around and tell a trans person to kill themselves. That's the hypocrisy and the bullshit that's out of this community. They're fake. They're all fake. Unless you get in line with what they're saying, they tell you to kill yourself. And then they turn around and say trans people are dying. That's the hypocrisy of it all. But I will keep telling you the truth. And I will keep telling you what's actually happening. If you keep coming back and you keep listening to me, I promise to be truthful and honest and respectful. I consider myself a warrior for the cause of humanity. And why do I get emotional? Because it's just absurd that I have to say those things. I thought by now I would be interviewing doctors and lawyers and mailmen and cool stuff like that. But instead I have to be here talking about this. And I also want you to see my vulnerability. Because if you don't see my vulnerability, I don't think you see the true essence of how hurtful this is to many of us and how much we care about ourselves and about you. And not just, I don't care about just myself. I care about you and I care about me and I care about us living in a space where we can coexist. And I can be married and I can have a kid. And I can't see you say sir to me or mister. That's what I care about. Anyway, it's gross what they did at the White House. And I'm going to wear my suit and tie when I get invited. And we're going to move forward and we're going to be okay. And things are going to start to change. I really do believe it. And so keep being a badass and you keep being a warrior and we keep building this space. And together we put reality back on the table. And we're going to move forward from all of this. I really do feel it in my heart. I see a light shining. So I want you all to have a beautiful day. And I want you all to know that love is there. And just, reach deep down and feel it here. And you're going to see what I'm talking about. So have a beautiful day, my friends. And I'll see y'all later.